The word retirement used to be only used by the baby boomers when they hit the age of 60 onwards, and that's when they hand in their resignation and they officially retire. Then the word early retirement came in, which basically means that you can quit the workforce as early as age perhaps 35 years old. Well, the buzzword these days is the word micro-retirement. What? A new term? Yes, it is the buzzword right now all over TikTok, and in fact, if you type in the word micro on Google, the word micro-retirement pops up. In this video, we'll uncover what in the world is micro-retirement, and we'll also discuss the pros and cons for you. Hey guys, my name is Fran, one half of the Corporate Breakout Couple, and we make videos on cost of living, early retirement, and lots more. If you're new to this channel, my husband John and I, a Malaysian and a Singaporean, we actually early retired in year 2020. Feel free to check out all our other videos on our YouTube channel to get the full spectrum on exactly what we do. Remember to like this video, share this video with all your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much. According to this article by Unilad, the micro-retirement trend has been picked up by Gen Zers and Millennials. They are the generations of people who aren't anywhere near retirement age yet, but who refuse to accept there's nothing but work ahead for the next 3 to 5 decades. Essentially, the trend refers to taking a chunk or multiple chunks of time off work to experience life and travel while you're young, rather than waiting until actual retirement age in your 50s or 60s. It's similar to a sabbatical and has also been dubbed an adult gap year. Micro-retirement is actually seen like a sabbatical, but there's actually a distinction between the two. When people take a sabbatical, they actually take it for maybe 3 months, 6 months, even to a year. However, the difference is that they actually have their job waiting for them at the end of their sabbatical period. In the case of micro-retirement, these Gen Zers and Millennials actually quit their jobs completely and then they go on their little break. They are completely fine leaving the workforce completely with no job offers waiting for them when they come back, and when their little break is over, then they just reapply for new jobs. Their mindset shift is completely different to the Gen Xers and baby boomers who are actually struggling to retire. According to this article from Fortune.com, taking a look at unretiring baby boomers and Gen Xers, already exhausted young adults are finding that it might be time to reinvent the wheel. If the workforce is turning from sprint to marathon, young adults are set to react accordingly, pausing for little water breaks or vacations along the way. Going back to the Unilad article, 27-year-old Morgan Senna told The Cut, "I think Gen Z is interested in less traditional models of employment in general. For example, we are far more likely to freelance or do contract work than previous generations. I hope that as we become a bigger part of the workforce, mini retirements become more and more doable and more normalized." You know, the world has really changed. Let me give you an example. Recently, I spoke to a Gen Z and he was completely okay to be on contract work and freelance work at the side as his career for the next several years. The willingness to jump into contract roles and freelance work in different job scopes and different industries is something that the older generation are not so willing to do. Many years ago, I was offered a 1-year contract role at Microsoft, and guess what? I did not take up that role because it was a risky role for me, because I deemed a 1-year contract to be too short, and what happens to me after that 1-year contract is over and I wasn't renewed? I belong to the young Gen X, and this is actually the thought process of Gen Xers and older. They crave for job stability. Another pro that I see these young Gen Zs and Millennials going for micro-retirement is the willingness to let go of their job identity in search of their true self. The difference between them and the older generations is that when the older generations go on a sabbatical, they actually have the assurance and security that their job will be waiting for them when they come back from their sabbatical. Back in 2018, my friend living and working in Sydney, Australia, contacted me to inform that she's going to go on a 9-month sabbatical because she was extremely burnt out at the age of 38. In that 9-month period, she traveled extensively around the world, and she also also spent a lot of time in Malaysia with her parents. But here's the irony. When she went back to the same job in the same company after her sabbatical was over, she immediately felt the burnt out again. So in essence, nothing has changed. You see, when you go on a sabbatical, knowing that your job is waiting for you at the end of the period, it's like having one leg in and one leg out. Yes, you have that safety, that security that you will not lose your job after the end of the sabbatical, but that safety and security is the very reason that actually lets you not take risks outside of your work identity. When these Gen Zs and millennials go on micro-retirement, they completely let go of their jobs. They actually quit and resign. This frees them up to take on projects, to discover themselves, and to see whether this particular role or job actually suits them. They have 100% freedom because they don't have a job holding them back, waiting for them when they come back to do whatever they want to craft out their new destinies. Another pro that I notice of these people who are practicing micro-retirement is that they actually do plan ahead, so they are not as impulsive as they seem. According to the Unilet article, those trying micro-retirements have made clear they've planned ahead, with this lady explaining that she prepared for a time away from work by paying off a large amount of her student loan and saving up a sizable sum of money. Similarly, she plans to cover the cost of a break by saving up a year's worth of living expenses as well as a fund for her time off. While she travels, she also plans to continue working freelance to supplement her savings. Another lady, Karen Nicole, a 28-year-old who is planning to take a career break in the near future, told The Cut, "Do the math. If you can figure out how to take a few months off every couple of years without dipping into your nest egg, it's worth prioritizing." For those who are already practicing micro-retirements by planning ahead, budgeting, and strategizing their finances, I feel that this is a good practice for them to do when they actually go for their full retirement in their future. They will definitely have more practice and experience in what retirement is all about, and they've actually experienced it by the micro-retirements compared to the older generations who will only experience retirement for the first time when they hit 60 and beyond. Now let's go to the cons. The way I see it, these guys who are practicing micro-retirements can only do so for a small number of years. Right now, the people who are practicing micro-retirement have little to no responsibilities. Once the house, the car, and the baby comes, they will start to feel the financial burdens, and therefore they can kiss bye-bye to micro-retirements in the future. With the heavy burden of responsibilities, they will soon understand why baby boomers and Gen Xers can't quit the workforce. According to the Fortune article, glancing down the barrel of retirement, older generations are finding a black hole in their wake. Gen Xers report being the least financially prepared to leave the workforce, perhaps due to their coming of age as the pension fades, pointed out Fortune's Alicia Azemzik. Living longer and operating within an increasingly expensive world, adults find themselves also working more than expected. Some have been forced to unretire or return to work after finding their savings to not go as far as expected. Financial anxiety is even making rich boomers act more frugal as they opt for a less splashy retirement given their need to stretch out their nest egg for an indeterminate amount of time. And people think they need more than they might actually to retire, as Northwestern Mutual points out that the magic number needed to retire is rising faster than the rate of inflation. Another con that I foresee for people who are practicing micro-retirements is because of the numerous start-stop to their career, it is actually very difficult for them to have pay increments and pay rise due to different industries that they are actually changing in as well. This means that there's a likelihood that their pay or salary might stay stagnant for several years because there's no career continuity. If you're a Gen X and older, there's actually a set career path, a set salary growth that you can actually kind of see, especially if you're working in an MNC. This is actually good news for those who are gunning for financial freedom or early retirement because you can kind of project your financials and you can plan accordingly. So there you go guys, the pros and cons of this new buzzword called micro-retirement. What are your thoughts? We would like to know what you think about this new word called micro-retirement. Let us know in the comments below. Please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share this video with all your friends. It could be a Gen X, it could be a Gen Z, a millennial, or even a baby boomer. My name is Fran, one half of the Corporate Breakout Couple, signing off. Bye!
Hey, do join us for our free masterclass webinars where you are up your financial literacy, break out the corporate rat race, and gun for your financial independence. Do register for it now.